Hello everyone, it's Karina with Karina Loves to Plan. Thank you for joining me in my little corner of the internet where I talk all things planners, fountain pens, and fountain pen inks. I am finally filming my March Currently Inked, and I know I say finally, but it's only the 4th day of March that I'm filming this. I'm normally way more prepared, but February just went by so fast and now March is here. But anyway, let's get straight into it. I will be swatching in my Hobonichi A5 notebook with the 52 GSM Tomoe River paper. And I will also be swatching with my Browse ornament nib. This is in the 3mm, and then I have it on the nib holder. Now, this is a nib holder. I don't know where to actually purchase this particular one. This one is a nib holder that I received when I did the monoline workshop with Bachori at the San Francisco Pen Show, and these were given as part of the workshop, but any nib holder will do. Let's get started. The first pen and ink combination is going to be my Hines pen. This is in the Model K in the Champagne at Midnight, and I have it inked with Fan Yan Tan Sakura Blizzard. Now, there isn't a lot of this sample left, so I'm using it, I guess, as sparingly as I can, or making the most of what's in that sample vial. Oh, I love it. Oh, hold on, I did not get enough into the reservoirs, so making sure I get enough here. What I love about this ink is the chromo shading properties, that it starts off kind of this yellowy brown, but then as it dries, there's beautiful pinks in it as well. Such a lovely, lovely color. So here we go with Hines Pen Co. And this is in the Model K, Champagne at Midnight. And this has an extra fine nib. Of course it does. So the ink is Fan Yan Tan Sakura Blizzard. Oh, that's going to be fun. Look at that. Look at the way that that is already drying, the hints of coral and green. So interesting. So that is my Hines Pen Co. with Fan Yan Tan Sakura Blizzard. The next pen and ink combination is my Hogtown pens, and this is in the Swansea Large in the Conway Stewart Opal. And from your comments, I chose the Nightingale and the Rose to go with this. And I'm so glad that you did all choose this because it's a gorgeous ink. And this is one of those inks that I kind of bought without trying a sample first. And I know I only used it a few months ago, but I don't have any problem using an ink again. Especially one as pretty as this one. Gorgeous. I don't know if you think it's too similar to Fan Yan Tan Sakura Blizzard, but like the base color can be similar, but then you've got that shimmer. So this is Hogtown pens, and this is in the Swansea Large in the Conway Stewart Opal. And this has an extra fine nib. The ink again is Warringol. The Nightingale and the Rose. Gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. I mean, just look at that. So Hogtown pens with the Conway Stewart Opal and Warringol, the Nightingale, and the Rose. The next pen and ink combination is my Asvine C80 in the brown glitter, and I have it inked with Diamine Salted Caramel. I think these two are a perfect match. So let's go ahead and swatch this here. Look at just that golden shimmer. That's stunning. I know this isn't really a spring color, But when I ink up my pens, I don't always go for what's, you know, seasonally relevant. I ink up what I want to ink up. So here we have my Asvine C80 and the brown glitter. And it has an extra fine nib. Now this is a number 8 steel nib. Just look at the size of that. Isn't that cool? And we have Diamine Salted Caramel. And this is from the 2024 Inkvent calendar. Oh, love that. Look at how well that matches. What do you think? Perfect. The next pen and ink combination is my Aurora 88 in the Mantova. Gosh, is it really bad of me that I'm not remembering that? It's been a while since I've used it, and I'm now pulling up my spreadsheet off screen just to make sure I get the name right. So this is my Aurora 88, oh my gosh, Viaggio Segreto Mantova. And I have it inked with Herbon Rouille d'encre. I haven't used this ink in a while, and I'm excited to actually get it into a pen here. So I'm going to go ahead and swatch this. This was one of the first dusty pinks that I ever had in my collection. And if you have been around for a while, you know my love for dusty pinks. Oh, now it's not an exact match to the pen, but that's okay. I wanted to combine the Aurora 88, the slightly wetter nib that I was feeling with that fine nib, with the slightly drier Herbon ink. Stunning. So we have the Aurora, which when I first got it, I admit it did have its problems with the nib, but I was able to thankfully tune and smooth that here. So where are we? We're 88, and this is in the Mantova. And the ink is Herbon Rouille d'encre. Oh, I forgot to say that this is an 18K extra fine. Oh, it is extra fine, but it does feel like a little, it's like wetter than regular extra fines. So that is my Aurora 88 with Herbon Rouille d'encre. Not an exact match, but I don't mind. I'm excited to use those two together. The next pen and ink combination is my Pilot Kakuno, and this is in the Madarome Brown. And I have it inked with Kitty Inkpot Fluffy Wool Ball. Actually, you know what? I'm going to check the name on this because it's not Madarome Brown, because this definitely doesn't look brown. I think it's Nimbus Gray. I believe it is. So let's go ahead and swatch Fluffy Wool Ball. And I'm very grateful for the pen friend who sent this sample to me, because I ended up giving away my other sample of Fluffy Wool Ball because it wasn't working well in my Jinhao 20, and it wasn't the ink's fault, it was the Jinhao 20. So now I'm glad I get to try this again in a much better, wetter nib here with my Pilot Kakuno. And that's not meant to say that the Jinhao 20s are all bad. It was just that particular Jinhao 20 had a really defective nib. So this is my Pilot Kakuno in the Nimbus Gray. And this has a fine nib. And we have Kitty Inkpot Fluffy Wool Ball. Again, not an exact match, but there's some hints of that gray in the ink that you're seeing that can match with this pen. Oh, gorgeous. The next pen and ink combination is my Franklin Christoph in the Ascension Wing, and this is, I believe, a Model 31 as well. And I have it inked with Kitty Inkpot Gramophone that can only rewind. Again, this is one of those things where I'm like, how did you come up with the name? How does the name represent the ink color at all? What was another one that I had from Kitty Inkpot that was a little bit, I forget, it was like Jellyfish Moonlit Travel Journal or something like that. It was a really obscure name, and maybe it was just because the translation wasn't great, like the way that the words translated. didn't really translate all well into English. So we have my Franklin Christoph. And this is, again, the Model 31 in the Ascension wing. And this has, what does this one have? Come on, Karina, where is it? Model 31, and this is a fine nib. The ink is Kitty Ink Pot. Gramophone that can only rewind. It's really interesting to actually now look back on this pen. I bought this pen when I started a new job in June of 2024, and amazing for me to just see how time has passed since I purchased this pen, and I still love this pen. I feel like this pen represents, I guess, a new era in my fountain pen journey as well. And there's always new eras in my fountain pen journey, just in terms of like the pens that I like and how my tastes change. But I feel like this was a pen that I wouldn't have considered purchasing early on in my journey, but it represents a new job and a new era, and I love it. So that is my Franklin Christoph Model 31 in Ascension wing with Kitty Ink Pot gramophone that can only rewind. The next pen and ink pairing I have is my Esterbrook Esty in Lilac, and I have it inked with Diamine Lullaby. And this one isn't an exact match either, but I really wanted to use this ink with a purple pen. And I don't know if it would have matched with a different color purple, but it's a really light pinky purple. Really pretty. And I feel like this one's very spring, this color. I'm actually excited to do my lineup of my favorite spring inks. I'm also looking forward to spring because I'm tired of these minus 20 Celsius temperatures. So this is Esterbrook, Esty in Lilac, and this has an extra fine nib. I always have to check now. And it's inked with Diamine Lullaby. This is going to be such a pretty color. Although, I mean, like when I put it against there's some lighter parts of this pen that do kind of match with that Lullaby. So not an exact match, but not completely far off either. Lovely. The next pen and ink combination might be a little bit controversial, but you let me know. I have my Leonardo Momento Magico in Amethyst, and I have it inked with my Tono & Limbs Winter Sunrise. And you're probably like, why are you not inking up your Winter Sunrise pen with your Winter Sunrise ink? And the main reason for that was because I just used Winter Sunrise. Both, I actually just used one in February and one in January, and it didn't feel fair to repeat it again when I have so many other pens. So I thought, let's use this in my Momento Magico because it's a pretty pen. It's also Leonardo, so why not? And oh, love this. And I feel like I need to get a little bit more here. And I feel like with the shimmer, it makes it look more purple rather than brown pink, but I'm okay with that. Really, all shades of this ink are all the colors that I love. So here we have my Leonardo, Momento Magico in Amethyst. And this has an extra fine flex nib. And it is inked with Tono & Limbs and Karina Loves to Plan, Winter Sunrise. Loving this combination so far. And this is going to be my combination in my Hobonichi A6 5-year journal for the month of March. So lovely. Now, it is it's a flex nib or an elastic extra fine. Sorry, I don't want to write flex. It is an elastic extra fine. That doesn't necessarily mean it's flexy. It's a little bit softer and has a little more give, but not one that I would flex on a regular basis. So that is my Leonardo Momento Magico with Winter Sunrise. Next, I have my Wancher Frozen Sake, and I have it inked with Diamine Celadon Cat. Now, I'm wondering if I have actually inked this combination before. I feel like I have, and I'm going back into my spreadsheet here, into my previously currently inked, and finding my Wancher. No. It was Kitty Inkpot Dissipate the Mist. I haven't used Celadon Cat yet in this pen. Whew. I love the grayish blue tones of Celadon Cat. And this was a Reddit ink from, was this 2023 or 2024? I cannot remember. But it's just stunning. And Diamine inks generally behave really well. Not too dry. Maybe around average ink flow. Some inks are going to be wetter than others, like Writer's Blood, for example. But generally, I don't have too many issues with Diamine inks. So here we have my Wancher. And this is in the Pro Gear size. And this is Frozen Sake. And this is an 18 karat fine nib. I had this nib tuned and smoothed by Kirk Spear at the Pacific Northwest Pen Show because I actually purchased this pen from Pen Realm. So the ink is Diamine Celadon Cat. Oh, beautiful combination. Lovely. This pen is what got me back into, I say sailors, but also that really fine nib. Lovely. My next combination here is Just Turnings with a resin that I had done by Pen Co. It's my Swirly Joyful Kismet, and I have it inked with Colorverse Alpha Pisces. Now, I haven't used this ink in a really long time, and I purchased this, I say early on in my fountain pen journey, and I'm really trying hard to use what I have in my collection. Because if I'm not using it, then what was the point of spending the money on it? So I'm really trying to be better about really making use of what I have, and I still love this green. It's a beautiful, more muted green, and it's a little drier as well though, which is why it's going in this nib. The Just Turnings has a fine architect nib here. This is Just Turnings. And this is Swirly, Joyful Kismet. And this has a fine architect nib. And it is inked with Colorverse Alpha Pisces. Just look at that green. Absolutely stunning. Oh, love that. Love those two together. The next pen and ink combination is my Zodiac Pen Co. in the 3 Olives Martini in the Cancer model, and I have it inked with Rohr and Klingner Alt Gold Grün. Oh, I realized I need to move my page. This is another ink that I haven't used in quite some time, so I'm glad to be bringing these out of the woodwork, essentially. It was one of the first bottles that I had ever purchased early on because so many people rave about this ink. I feel like it's a great ink for spring or for fall just because of how bright and beautiful that is. So here we have my Zodiac Pen Co. And this is in the Cancer model in the 3 Olives Martini, and this has an extra fine cursive smooth italic nib. So this is Rohr and Klingner Alt Gold Grün. I love bringing inks back that some people haven't seen in quite a long time, because I think we also focus on so many of the new inks that are coming out that I really want to focus on inks and pens from early on in my collection, because those inks are still just as beautiful. So that's my Zodiac Pen Co. 3 Olives Martini with Rohrer and Klingner Alt Goldgrün. And last but not least, we have my Mayfair pens in the Tiffany blue, and I believe this is the, I always get this wrong, the Mayfair pens. This is the Wancher model, and this is Tiffany with the sparkles, and I have it inked with Van Diemen's Parrotfish. I got this sample when I met up with two friends local here, and I basically went to a fountain pen meetup at somebody's house and met two of the nicest people, and thankfully they thought I wasn't too bad either and invited me to their next pen meetup. I haven't scared them away. And I saw this swatched on one of their notebooks, and I was so curious about it, so I had to try. And I thought, what a perfect match for this particular Mayfair pens. So we have my Mayfair pens. This is the Wancher model, Wancher, in Tiffany blue. And this has an extra fine nib. And this is Van Diemen's Parrotfish. I'm hoping that the shimmer comes out here. I'm not seeing it too much as of yet in the writing, but we'll see. We'll see. Hopefully, yeah, hopefully that works out. So there are all of the inks now that they've had a little bit of time to dry, so you can see what they all look like. And if you want to get all of the names, I recommend pausing here and zooming in if you can. And then I'm going to show you all the pens that go with these. So there are all the pens with the inks that I have for my March currently inked. And I'm actually looking forward to this. Now, it's not an exact rainbow, and sometimes I do aim for a rainbow just because it's nice to have that differentiation, but also a choice of different colors that I can use on a day-to-day basis. So we'll see how this goes. All right, but that is it for me. Thank you all so much for watching. If you have any questions, please leave them down below. Otherwise, don't forget to hit that like button and to subscribe. Thanks again, and have yourselves a great day.